Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some malicious compliance. Make sure every customer is satisfied? Oh, don't worry about it. Contradiction is the key of the corporate chain I work for. Previously, I was berated for giving a discount on a certain name brand that we carry that doesn't like to be part of our sales. I pushed it through and gave them the buy one get one 50% off deal because it listed in tiny letters that certain brand was excluded. Their advertisement is very misleading, especially with the placement of signs they have us put. The lady threw a fit. I dealt with it professionally and got her out of the store before she made a scene. The customer is always right, correct? Last week, I dealt with the same thing. Another woman upset that her son's sweatshirt wasn't a part of our sale. Instead of pushing it through, I acted the way they wanted me to act, telling her, unfortunately, my hands are tied. I wish I could push it through, but I need corporate approval to do such a thing. She huffed a little and left. No big deal. She bought the items anyway, so the sale was made. If she doesn't come back, who cares? I get an email a day later asking what happened and why they received a complaint about me. They further explained that the customer satisfaction is their main goal, and that letting them get what they need is vital to the success of the company. I replied, explaining I was told not to address the situation because the other company doesn't want to be part of the deal. I apologized and told them I would act the correct way next time. 2 days later, I received another email that said our sales are down and that our store needs to pick up sales. They said to try to stay in contention for being an open store for 2020. Make this happen at all cost. This made me mad. We've had to deny sales because they weren't clear with us on what is on sale and what isn't. Just adjust to what the system says. Then they get mad when the deal doesn't list specifically what's on the sale, but what wasn't on the sale was expected to be on sale and we adjust it. They get mad. At this point, I'm furious. I have a woman who walks in and exclaims how much her family loves that brand and asks if they're part of the sale. Me being angry at the company and trying to get up our overall sales, I say yes. They buy 12 $55 sweatshirts and I push every sale through. I get a message from 2 different people. One asks why I pushed such a huge sale through, and one congratulating us on such a huge push past quota. I replied with a simple, I was making sure we crushed what our expected sales were, and I did it at all costs. I never got a reply. Why have they got so many different managers for like the same person? Surely it should be one manager for one person and then that manager is then managed by another person, just so the chain of command doesn't get messed up like that. Find someone else, and I want commission, a twofer. This is a story I got secondhand from a manager at a place I used to work at. Floor manager was a former normal employee who, against my counsel, replaced me before I left. That's a different story, I'll tell in the comments if interested, but it's not relevant here. And after I left, I became a floor manager, making around $16 to $17 an hour. I don't know exactly, but it was decent money. For his entire employment history, he's had attitude problems. This story starts about a month after he had been suspended for cursing out a guest. He was back as floor manager, but wanted to work as a salesperson. I assume because he had heard how much they can make in commission and tips. Management said, fine, you can take a tilt at that windmill, and he was effectively demoted down to sales. His whole attitude is somewhat abrasive, which isn't really a good thing in sales. Or not, I've never done it. And he barely made $50 commission on top of his normal $700 to $800 paycheck, when others would make their paycheck over again. So he does this for about a month, and asks management to go back to being a manager, with paychecks that cleared $1,000. They agree, with the stipulation he can sign a contract saying no more attitude or you're gone. He had previously had several write-up and the aforementioned suspension was his second. So he goes back to being a manager. Second day in, a manager over him, the operations manager, asked him to do some maintenance that involved getting kinda dirty, basically redoing a whole bunch of springs. It's monotonous but fairly easy, and if you're gonna pay me that money to spend 4 hours doing springs, I'll put some music on and go for it. However, the conversation that went down, verbatim as the operations manager is my friend, so these are the words as he recalls it, and I asked him to verify, went like this: "Floor manager, I need you to redo those springs." "I'm not doing it. Find someone else who makes $12 an hour." You do remember you signed a contract saying you wouldn't talk back to us, right?" "I don't care. Fire me if you want. I'm not doing those springs." "Well, alrighty then." And he made a beeline for the office. He was indeed fired less than an hour later. I got a call if I would be interested in the position, but I like my current job better, and there's no way I could make the two work. So he talked his way out of good money, and then out of a job. My manager friend was somewhat gleeful when telling me the story. I don't understand, what do you expect when you're asking for it? Like, if you ask it, then people are just gonna say yes. Make a music video for math class? No problem. This was back during my junior year of high school, in 2012, when I was in a trigonometry class. One of the big projects for the year was making a music video explaining some sort of trig concept by taking a song and reworking the lyrics, singing along, dancing, etc. Although I am a musician, and currently a music teacher as well, I wasn't exactly thrilled about the project, but I dealt with it. After a long day of recording the video with my project partner, I came home to edit, only to discover that all the videos were corrupted, probably because my phone was an absolute piece of garbage. Being the high schoolers that we were, we had waited until the day before the project was due, so we were screwed. I desperately reread the project instructions and rubrics, searching for anything I could possibly do. This is where my being a musician and malicious compliance come in. The instructions stated that the music video had to be based on some sort of song or piece of music, and had to explain a trigonometric concept with an example. I used my music history knowledge to find my loophole. John Cage's 433, a published piece of music internationally written to be performed as a 4 minute and 33 seconds of silence. The end result was pretty much a slideshow of text explaining how to find the measurement of a missing side using SOHCAHTOA. A video lasting 4 minutes and 33 seconds, accompanied by nothing else but silence. My trig teacher was pretty torn about the whole thing, but being the sarcastic and clever man that he was, most definitely appreciated the malicious compliance and admitted defeat. He showed all his classes the video, and about half the classes thought I should have failed, and the rest thought it was genius. And needless to say, the teacher clarified the project instructions the following year. Yeah, the people that thought he should have failed were definitely just people that tried really hard on it, and probably got like the same grade, so... English 1101 paper must be at least 5 pages. Freshman year of college, I took an English 1101 course, pretty basic and lame. I should have exempted it had I known better. The professor was used to dingbats and students who barely got into university, but I wasn't a slouch myself. Whole semester drags through, and it's a long way to start my degree. The professor has a final research paper she wants written. No surprises here. What came next was 3 class periods of her going over every requirement of this paper to make sure nobody would try and skimp out in writing a full 5 pages. 5-page paper is not really a big deal, and if you're in college, you can usually expect more than that. She kept reiterating that 5-page minimum in email, paper assignment, slideshow, etc. It drove me nuts how little effort she expected from her class. So, I did what any smart guy would do and proceeded to write a 20-page paper complete with loads of proper sources, and even an interview. All completely to her standards. The reference page, formatted correctly, was an extra 3 pages, and behind that was the excerpts from all the sources and the complete transcript for the interview. Last day of class comes, and everyone brings their 5-page papers, and wispy accompanying documents. I walk in and drop this 3/8 of an inch thick stack of papers on her desk, and her jaw just about hits the floor. Final exam comes and goes, and we get our grades back. She gives me an 85 on the paper, which I can just about guarantee was crafted better than my classmates, who would fall asleep on the keyboard and type a few pages of Z's while in class. Hear from a friend who takes the class next semester, and when it comes time for the final paper, it's a 5-page minimum and 7-page maximum. Suck on that, Mrs. Smith. Did he do that because she's lazy? Because it sounded like he wasted more of his time than hers right now. I don't know, but yeah. Teacher ignores me when asking a legit question about my assignment. Have fun. This happened when I was a sophomore in high school. The teacher is a super type A personality and tells us to make a timeline of music with certain parameters to include an exact dimension range if the poster board she wants us to use. The poster board is a rectangle, and I wanted my timeline to be a line, making a better use of space. At the end, I ask her if I can cut the poster board size in half, hot dog style for anyone who learned folds that way, and put the skinny ends together and make it a line that would fold up into the dimensions she wanted. She kind of ignores me, cuts me off before I'm done explaining, and goes, "Yeah, whatever." I don't believe she was really listening. So I only get out, "Can I cut the poster board and make it really long?" After her taking up a whole class to go over all the details of the project, I wanted to make sure it was fine so I wouldn't lose any points. So it was a justified concern and only one question that wouldn't take up necessary time if she was really strapped for time that day. I also was not one of her favorites, and she is known to take off for weird reasons on her assignments for other classes she teaches. So I really just wanted to make sure I got a good grade. I get home and with my mum, we hatch a plan to make this assignment absolutely absurd in length. We buy 6 poster boards that range about 1.5 feet in length, cut them in half, hot dog style, and stick them end to end, making it 18 feet long. I put so much detail into the whole thing, make the timeline itself look like an old sheet music with stained paper, and each part of the line was a time measure. So, I go to class when it's due, and it's folded up quite nicely. She looks at my poster and probably thinks I'm missing some of the required points, since it is really bare on that particular panel. My friend and I then unveil the behemoth of a timeline, getting a lot of stares and giggles from other classmates. We find out after all the projects are graded, the ones with a lot of effort are in her classroom, since she was only an assistant music teacher and mainly did orchestra. Mine is up there, taking up an entire wall. I felt proud. I also got extra credit for effort as well. That's more wholesome than malicious, but it's still good. Stop interrupting me. I had a customer who wanted to rent a U-Haul to go to City A, which is 550 kilometers south of here, and back, so 1100 kilometers round trip. There's City B, which is in the middle of nowhere, a little over 250 kilometers north of here. The truck would have been $190 for a one-way to City B, and then the U-Haul offers a $40 discount if you bring the truck back round trip to my city. It would be $150 for a truck, with 3 days and 560 kilometers included, plus 40 cents per additional kilometer for the extra 540 kilometers he needs. I was going to give him the truck for less than $400. I was trying to explain that to him, but he kept interrupting me. Why are you talking about City B? I'm not going to City B. I don't have anything to do with City B. Stop talking about City B. I told him twice to relax and let me finish a sentence, but he wasn't having it. I got fed up and gave him the in-town rate, $39.95 for 1 day, plus 69 cents per kilometer. I charged him $800 for the truck. He seemed pretty happy about it though, that I stopped mentioning City B. I bet the guy would have been interested in City B if the person would have just said, oh, it would be $800, but I can do it for $400 if you go through City B. Then he's all up for City B. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.